YouTube channel Nos Confunden. Before clocks marked hours and maps pretended to trace borders where none exist, a vast network of titanic trees once covered the world. They were not trees as we know them today, but living columns of energy, memory, and vibration. Conscious beings that connected the roots of the earth with the invisible flows of the celestial lands. They were more than vegetation, they were bridges between dimensions, but they were cut down and the truth was buried in stone. Across all the known lands and even beyond the ice walls, the silent remnants of these colossal trees still emerge, reduced to stone and flat plateaus. Traces of vertical mountains with cylindrical cuts remain, along with fractal crystallization patterns that follow not volcanic laws, but large-scale biological principles. Nos confunden. Modern science calls them unusual geological formations. But the shape says it all. Vertical structures with concentric rings, hexagonal symmetry, and in some cases, a sharp and clean cut, like a monumental felling. They are not mountains, they are the corpses of forgotten giant trees. The titanic trees were not carbon-based like those of today. They were composed of a silicon-based structure, allowing direct integration with the energy of the environment, the vibration of atmospheric plasma, and the telluric flows. Nos confunden. This silicon, upon petrifying, did not die, but preserved a dormant frequency. That is why many of these formations still vibrate, generating anomalies in compasses, dreams, and even states of consciousness. But who cut them down, and why? Nos confunden. The custodians, upon their arrival and after the first reset, identified these trees as sacred nodes, natural portals that prevented complete control over the physical plane. While these trees lived, humanity could feel that connection to the source, and although the resets fulfilled the custodians' needs, they were not entirely complete. So, using advanced technology they developed, they cut them down one by one. Most with directed plasma beams, others with procedures still unknown. The cut was surgical, perfect, and the goal was successfully achieved. Everything that connected human beings to their origin, their higher energy, their memory, was completely eliminated. With the forest already petrified and mutilated, the memory had to be erased. A fragmented and partial geology was taught, ancient maps showing forests of kilometer-tall trees were hidden, and myths were rewritten as mere allegories. Nos confunden. Yggdrasil was downgraded to a Norse symbol. The tree of life was locked inside religions. The columns of Eden were turned into fire, and so too the stories became just that, crumbs of a hidden reality. The cutting of these trees was not only physical, it was also symbolic. It severed the possibility of spiritual ascension, of remembering the origin, of activating the dormant centers of consciousness. Today, we are taught that the mountains have been there for millions of years, ignoring that the great petrification did not happen so long ago when the trees still vibrated. Many were turned to stone instantly, and the rest were hidden, camouflaged, or simply destroyed. Some remnants still protrude from what they once were. Nos confunden. Devil's Tower, Wyoming. An almost perfect base, with hexagonal vertical veins and a flat cut. Asgard, Canada. A region with dozens of massive bases and radial branching patterns visible from satellite. Ollantaytambo, Venezuela. A flat-topped mesa cut as if with a blade. Formations in Namibia, Australia, Pakistan, and Antarctica, where frozen bases are found, covered by layers of ice that act as both physical and energetic veils. Iceland and Russia, with columns that resemble vertical roots. Even gigantic concentric growth rings have been detected in certain petrified soils that replicate growth age. If they were trees, they would easily reach 15 kilometers in height. Despite the devastation, some of these structures still pulse. When approaching certain ones, animals behave differently. Compasses lose their north. People feel dizziness, internal tremors, or profound epiphanies. Some claim to have dreamed of the awakened trees. Others affirm that under certain nights, vibrations can be felt in the nearby ground, as if they remembered that these titans once filled the known continents. Nos confunden. What was once sacred cannot be silenced forever. Today, as we observe these petrified remnants, we do not see ruins. We see open wounds from a severed world. And in that silence of stone we walk through day by day, where the outer world overwhelms us and we seem to move forward along a path of absolute darkness, born from the forgetting of what we once were and what we still are, though asleep. Let us seek to restore the bridges that were cut. YouTube channel Nos Confunden.